Welcome to the Zero Time Dilemma 9 minutes of gameplay footage discussion. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the 9 minutes of English gameplay footage that Polygon debuted as of this recording yesterday. Just me and Mark again.
So I gotta ask you, since you're the one looking on the outside, Jason, what did you think of that?
It was interesting. It was very Saw-like. I got the, especially at the end there.
Definitely,
Yeah. Very simple puzzle. There was night vision goggles involved. I assume you get those in the FI at some point. They didn't show that though. They skipped ahead. Um, Basically, the main thrust of the first half of the footage was they had to get a screwdriver, and then the second half of the footage was a story about a snail and
The snail that killed billions of
that will kill billions because there was a surgeon in the taxi. What kind of taxi, by the way, loses control because of a snail? How big was this thing?
crazy tax.
Clearly, there's French taxis. And then there's some Russian roulette involved, which is always fun.
Because the door will only open if it hears a gunshot. And
Yeah.
if you try to touch the gun, I assume Zero's gonna, kill you.
Well, it's probably welded in place.
That too.
By the way, blanks will perforate your eardrum at that range, so you'd probably die from that anyway.
How Sigma gets in that chair anyway, I don't know.
I think he has to sit in it. They set it. It looks like after you get all the stuff set up, the chair comes out of the wall, and she has to screw him into it so he can't move. Yeah, and
It's
then
funny watching that demo though. I wanted to start playing along. I wanted to click around and stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm like, no, you fool, go back. Didn't you see those grid lines in the locker?
Yeah, didn't you see the ZVC on the wall? Maybe that's what you gotta slide in there.
Yeah,
It just hits so many good notes though in that footage though. The music still creepy and ominous.
very intense. It doesn't look like there's an actual timer involved, unless I missed it.
Well,
It
not
says you have 30 minutes, but
not for typically the main rooms, but that little thing there with the gun at the end, that is new.
yeah.
Where you had to actually make up your mind and decision of what you're gonna do. So I'm glad they did that. One of the big criticisms that folks have had in the first game is the very last puzzle in the game. It's implied that you have a very strict time to do with this, but you get all the time in the world to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't say what the puzzle is exactly for risk of spoilers to what I expect the final puzzle to be, but everyone's like, oh, okay, this is so major and intense, but go ahead and take as much time as you need.
I can see where they wouldn't want to put a timer on that, but yeah, you shouldn't write your narrative around that.
But
If
with
you're not
this,
going to
you
put
have
one in.
to. If they have instances like this where you have to make your decision in X amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
that's something else where you actually have to think about it. And
Yeah.
who knows, what little stuff will play. Like you might have had your mindset when it started, but maybe if you let the timer go a little longer, maybe somebody says or does something that could change your mind.
True.
So that could be a whole new wrinkle there too, where it's like, oh crap, maybe I really don't want to do with this. So I'm looking forward to seeing those instances play out.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way to force you to make a quick decision. Let's see. I took some notes. Mostly it's a summary of the trailer, but I noted it was very Saw-like. I like that it was ultimately Diana's choice. They lock up the more decisive characters.
Yeah, having Fi be out of action technically was pretty.
Yeah.
She was such a bigger player in two.
Because they're both self-sacrificing characters, because they want to protect Diana. So forcing her into that situation, I thought that was because you can kind of tell the team leaders are the ones that maybe might have issues with making quick decisions, but
Yeah. Oh, it just can't wait now.
yeah,
Oh, it's end of June, I believe.
yes, it should be at E3. I'm sure we'll see more gameplay footage come out from there.
And Amazon needs to stop telling me I need to revise my order for it. I've already said okay 1,000 times. So I assume it's all good, and the reason why I have to keep up on it is because it's the Watch bundle edition. So that way they don't screw me out of
Sometimes they're weird about that. I would probably call their customer service. Let's talk about that dumb story.
one. What about the snail?
Yeah, okay, I get that the surgeon. By the way, a surgeon doesn't cure viruses. I'm just gonna throw that out there, Zero. They're not virologists. Maybe he wasn't gonna save those 6 billion people.
Well, the idea is, one life can affect so many others.
I know, but come on. At least get type of doctor right. I will say the dubbing was terrible.
Hmm. The flaps and all that too.
Just the actors.
Oh, I think they were all right.
I mean, there wasn't much emotion going in there. The
Hmm.
actual dialogue wasn't bad for what it was, but I'm not going to expect too much from a 3DS game, so.
Voice acting wasn't too bad too. So maybe we got an isolated incident here, but
Yeah.
I suspect that maybe during certain parts of the game might have a little down in terms of that, but
I'm sure it's only for cutscenes and stuff.
Very key moments in the story, like maybe beginning and ending stuff. Though I should think they'll especially make sure it's good there.
Yeah. I mean, my gold standard is Bravely Default, so I'm not really. And that's as corny as possible, so I'm not really saying it's awful, like unplayable messes, but it could stand to be a little better. But I think that's true of any video game voice acting, really.
Can't not all studios can be Rocksteady where they just beat you down.
Yeah.
Or Warner Brothers rather.
True. I think my only issue with this footage, it doesn't really. If you've never played any of the other games, I know like Sigma and Fire apparently from older games, right?
They're both from 2, yeah.
Yeah. You don't really know their personalities that well. And you can kind of guess Diana from some of her reaction shots at the end of the trailer, which, spoiler, is the still that I used for this conversation, because it's just hilarious looking. But you don't really. The dialogue doesn't give a good idea of their personalities. I'm sure this is further in the game, and it'll be explained elsewhere, but.
Yeah, I can see where you're going.
I kind of got that Fi was a little sarcastic, but that's about it.
The trailer is just designed for folks that are already familiar with the series.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, it's the third entry in the series.
So maybe if they had included gameplay footage at the very beginning?
Maybe. I think that would have been better, because that would explain the general setup. I'm sure the puzzle wouldn't be as complicated.
And him introducing, Zero introducing the main overarching theme this time.
Yeah.
I could see that. But it's not designed to be played up as the, oh my god, take a look at this kind of footage. It's just, here's a few minutes we have for you.
Yeah. Well, it's possible they just wanted to introduce that new mechanic you were talking about, so that's why they went with this specific puzzle.
And it looks good. Sorry, I just can't wait to play it.
Well, hopefully we'll have that DS situation sorted out, and you can do it on streaming. Look forward to that, folks. It might be sometime in July, but we'll definitely be streaming this game.
Asterisks, we may or may not be streaming this game.
Oh no, we're going to figure it out. There's a couple routes we can take.
Here's a shaky cell phone video.
No. You can do it, well...
Retsu Prey, here we come.
We might have to do the camera option, depending on how long it takes to mod a 3DS, but I figure we get enough views on these that, we're definitely going to try. And you have the other 2 games as physicals, right?
I do.
So, if we do the third one, we'll probably do the first 2 as well. That'll be a good way to start off our streaming plans.
Text-heavy games.
Yes.
You wanted action, platforming, puzzle shooters, visual novels.
We'll figure out how to edit around so we only do the puzzles, but I don't know. So I think since we're moving on to this, we're kind of done discussing this.
I mean, it was only 9 minutes of footage, and if
Yeah.
this video goes any further than 9 minutes, that's
We're probably a little past that.
But
we'll be fine.
Footage is fine. The game looks fine.
Mm-hmm. It looks really great. It was shown the PSP version. I wish I'd shown some 3DS so we could compare. I would like to see how the 3DS version looks. But yeah, otherwise, it intrigued me. Not really my type of game, but I might give it a shot. Who knows? So, thanks everyone for listening. We will have more Zero Escape videos as information becomes available. See you guys later.